Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to draw the Troodon. And this video was actually requested by Theodore Hunt. So I'm not sure if you can see everything, but I'll just pick my camera up a little, just real quick. So I did a couple of sketches, just a few of them, and it turned out that this will be the one that we're gonna be drawing. Alright. Okay, and if you don't know what a Troodon is, it's basically kind of family of the Velociraptor, and I'm not talking about the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. I'm talking about the real Velociraptor, which was about the size of a, well, I'm not sure, but I think it was about the size of a chicken. A lot longer, of course, but the Troodon was actually a little bit larger. I'm not really sure how large it actually was, but yeah, it was a little bit larger, about the size of a small dog, I guess, or maybe a big dog. I'm not sure. All right, so I'm gonna start with the head, which is something that I don't usually do. So what we're gonna start with is basically draw in a circle, and immediately you want to draw kind of the eye circuits going on like this, and kind of have the head go like this, and a very thin elongated snout he has, maybe a little bit longer as well. Then it goes kind of like this. This could be a little bit more like that. And then we have a line that goes like this. And then his eye would be very large right over there. So that's gonna be one very something that's really a characteristic of the Troodon. Well, actually, yeah, actually, I want to do this again. I want to kind of do it over because I'm not really happy with this size. I want it to be a little bit larger. So I'm gonna make this circle, and I'll start over here. I'm gonna make this circle a little bit larger, and then I'm gonna try and get the kind of eyebrows in already, like this, and then try and get the shape of the head kind of right. So this looks pretty good to me. And now try and get the lower jaw in, and his lower jaw is not really muscular at all, a very tiny piece, I must say. And then this goes out a little bit more like that, maybe bump over there, and then we have a line that goes kind of like this, and maybe a little bit of shadow over there for the top of his nose, kind of. And then we can draw in his neck, and he's kind of facing us just a tiny little bit with his head, but the rest of his body will just be built up from like he is standing on, we're looking at his side. So this would be his rib cage, and then over here would be his hip. So we're gonna draw in a circle like that. Then over here his hip, and then a very long, slender tail kind of going like this. The Troodon is very has a very slender appearance because it's very, I think it's a very small dinosaur, and compared to all the other dinosaurs. Here we will have a kind of shoulder muscle, kind of like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to build it up little by little, and eventually we will get there. And I'm also using a 1.0 millimeter tip for this, so that way it's easier to sketch in very thin lines without having to worry about making the lines too dark, so we can still kind of erase them if we really need to. Alright, so well, I want him to kind of be in a stance. For example, he is looking this way, so in order for him to if he's moving his head this way, then there would have to be a counterbalance on the other side. So I'm gonna draw one leg like this, basically, and the other one like this. It's not very accurate right now, but that's kind of what it's gonna look like a little bit. And yeah, I just have to get an other reference so I can kind of look at the proportions and get the anatomy of this dinosaur right. So I'll be back. Alright, so what I'm seeing right now is that his knee is just a little bit below the rest of his body, and this bone is just about as long as this one, just about the same length, and then this bone kind of goes like this, and then you have his foot over there. So we're gonna recreate that same kind of thing. So yeah, let's get this up a little bit higher, make it about the same length, and this one as well, and then this bone like that. So this should actually get a pretty good position for the legs. Now for his arms, he kind of has them like this, almost back all the way, almost all the way horizontal, and then he has a bone like this, which is a little bit shorter than this one actually, and then his fingers would have to be over here, but let's see how that goes. So that's one really big one like that, one that's a little bit smaller, and one that's a little bit smaller over there, but this one is about the same length. So same goes for this arm on the other side. Sorry, excuse me. Same goes for this arm on the other side. Just want to kind of draw it in the same way. So we're going to draw it in like this, then like this, and the big one is all the way on top. Then one that's a little bit smaller, and the smallest one over there. Alright, so now that we have the sketches in, we can start drawing the legs, for example. So let's get the shape of his leg right. So here would be his knee. You really have to pay attention to the way their hips, kind of how far their hips actually go, so you don't make it too long. I mean the leg section, and you don't make it too big. Alright, so you kind of see he has the same kind of claw that a velociraptor would have. And he has very slender legs for a dinosaur, but that's again because he is not very large compared to, for example, the T-Rex. Alright, so now we just want to draw one claw like this. Like that. Heading underneath it. And then another one right over here. And also again padding underneath it. And then on the other side you would have this really large claw like this. Maybe it would be a little bit more like this. Alright. Well, actually, I'm gonna shape it a little bit differently. And also I'm gonna make his leg a little bit thicker so his foot doesn't look as his foot looks very stupid compared. I mean, he has very thin legs and then huge foot, a huge foot over there. So that's not what I want to go for. Let's make this one a little bit more elongated and kind of a shape like this. Alright, that should be fine for now. So now let's first get into his arms, because his fingers will kind of look very strange. So let's first just get into his fingers. So yeah, I'm gonna start drawing the smallest one. 2, 3, and then a nail, a claw over there, and then again 1, 2, 3, and a claw, and then over here kind of do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, and a claw on the end, a very large one compared to all the others. And then you have his wrist over here, and then just draw in what you need to draw in. Alright, so that's one done. Now we need to pay attention to the way that we're going to draw this one. So we're just going to start with the largest one. 1, 2, 3, a claw, and then just draw the padding underneath it first. 3, and then you just draw a claw on the end of this, because you won't really be able to see a lot more. 2, and a little bit, and then over here you just kind of do the same, draw in a bit of the claw, and then over here his wrist again. and of course this muscle would be very rounded. Alright, and now we can focus on the final step, which is putting in the final step for the basic shape of the dinosaur. So this foot would be kind of this leg would be kind of stretched for quite a bit. So it would kind of look a little bit like this. But the first thing that we're going to draw in is this huge claw. It kind of goes from over here and just with a huge curve and a really big curve, and then you can just do the same thing as what you did with the other one. Try and get it kind of the same shape as the other one. And then over here would be this dew claw. And then you just kind of do the same thing as you did over here, but the only difference is going to be that you will only be able to see one toe sticking out. Try and get it as similar as possible. And you might be able to see the other claw. Well, not over there, I did it a little bit wrong. I actually did the whole claw at the wrong angle. So I'm gonna try and redo it a little bit. It has to be more at a angle like this. And then the other one would kind of be visible over there, but I'm not really sure about that. So it would look kind of like this. I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks right now. I'm actually really happy with the way it looks right now. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go over it with a darker pencil, or just make the lines look a little darker and stuff, so that it's easier to see. And yeah, alright, so I'll be back. Alright, I actually darkened everything in, but I didn't go into his head too much, so I'm just gonna kind of look at how this eyebrow would kind of be positioned. I'm not really sure. I know his nose would be over there, and then he would have a huge eye like that. Maybe his eye is a little bit too large. I'm not really sure. His eye could be positioned a little bit. Well, let's actually refine the shape of his jaw, because I believe that his jaw is a little bit more straight like this, which would mean that his lower jaw would be a little bit more like this. So I'm just gonna erase that part just for a little bit. And also this part, because it's way too dark. Alright, so this would be his eyebrow, kind of, and then his eye would be over there, very large. So I guess this is about the right shape and everything. So I'm not sure about the shape of his head actually. Wait, I'm getting a call again. So yeah, I'm really not sure about the shape of his head, to be honest. I think this is a lot better like this. Huge eye over there. This looks a lot better in my opinion. And alright, yeah, let's get a little bit of shadow over there. And maybe a couple of scales like this. Kind of go a little bit like that. And probably something like that going on. So I guess this is about the right kind of shape, but I'm still not sure. But we will keep it like this. Maybe it's the top of his head. I mean his eyebrow on the other side might have actually been the problem. This probably looks a lot better. So now for his eye, let's get his eye in very dark. Let's say he's looking directly right over there. And then we have a lot of shadow actually going on over here, and leave something like a highlight at some areas. And then just leave the bottom part completely white, like that. It will kind of get a realistic looking eye. Now I want to darken a little bit of the shadow over here. Because this would probably be a very dark area, to be honest, and especially underneath his eye, because his eye is so large that when the sun shines on his eye, it kind of blocks a little bit of light for the rest of his face. So yeah, I believe this head looks a little bit better than the way his head looked at the start. But yeah, I'm just going over it sometimes and trying to refine it a little bit. To make it look kind of the way that I want it to look. Alright, so I guess we are about done for the first part. And this is one of my very few successful kind of three-dimensional drawings that I did on this channel. So I'm really happy with the way it looks right now. But now we still have to go to the part to where I'm gonna add a little bit of detail into it and make it look more detailed and stuff, with a lot of shadow everywhere. But we'll do that in the second part. So If you like the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe. So this was Stein as a Drawer, and goodbye.